Also, if we look at the school situation, when we go into schools, many of us here are studying in universities, etc., we have to put this university education in the proper context. From the Western perspective, we as Muslim students are not the same as non-Muslim students. The Muslim student is a Muslim who happens to be a student, and not a student who happens to be a Muslim. These are two different individuals altogether. They're using the same two words, Muslim student. But in one case, it's a Muslim who happens to be a student. He could have been something else. He could have been a teacher. Could have been a cab driver. Could have been anything else. He's a Muslim first. Whereas the student who happens to be a Muslim, he is indistinguishable from Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, atheists. He's just a student. His Islam is of no consequence. It has no impact on his or her life. So he will do the things that students normally do. What do? Cheat. Students are known for cheating. Universities have to set up all these different means to stop these guys from cheating. Because what? As a student, your goal is to get top marks by any means necessary. That's the nature, right? If you can get away with it, then you did it. So you will cheat. You will take other people's, plagiarize, anything. Whereas the Muslim student, he or she will not do that. They will approach their education from a different perspective. It is to do as good as you can, because it is true, the Prophet, may God's peace and blessing be upon him, had said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ مِنْ أَحَدِكُمْ إِذَا عَمِلَ عَمَلًا أَنْ يُتْقِنَهُ. That God loves from each and every one of you. If you do anything, you do it to the best of your ability. You do it to the best of your ability. So Muslims should really be outstanding students. It's not enough to say, well, I'm a good Muslim, I pray 5 times a day, but this study thing is just too much for me. I really can't handle it. The teacher is a disbeliever, and No, this is not an excuse. And these students, they'll come to me the day before the exam, they'll call me up, Sheikh, is there a dua, a dua that should get us through the exam? I hear it all the time, right around exam time. No, there's no special dua, no special prayer that's going to get you through this exam. If you didn't prepare yourself, then be ready for the consequence. So, we as students, a Muslim student, entering to university, we are not entering for, as the West likes to say, the university experience. After having gone through junior high, high school, now you get the university experience. No, we're not going there for the experience. We're going there for a particular purpose. We should be clear on what we're going there to study. And what we're going to study should be something beneficial to the community. Because the Prophet ﷺ had said, خَيْرُ النَّاسِ أَنْفَعُهُمْ لِلنَّاسِ. The best of people are those most beneficial to people. So we are seeking beneficial, useful knowledge. We should be clear. As a Muslim student, there are boundaries as to what you can take and what you can focus and study and what you can't. As a Muslim, for example, going into medicine, popular field. It is not appropriate for a male Muslim to study as his specialization, gynecology. This is not acceptable. So any of you brothers that are in gynecology, you better get out of there now. Know it. Islamically, this is not acceptable. No matter what field of medicine you study, you will learn something of that. To have that knowledge where emergencies arise, you can help to deal with situations, fine. But to make that your focus, what is that saying? What is that saying? It's not acceptable. Yes, for a Muslim female, yes, focus on gynecology. That's the area that you should focus on, yes. But she doesn't go and focus on, male urinary, dysfunctions. No, that's not a field. That's not a field for her to study, to focus on. I mean, of course, in the course of medicine, you study everything, a little bit of everything. But when you're going to specialize, for you to specialize in that, no, not appropriate. So we do have, see, as a student who happens to be a Muslim, you don't think of these things. You think of where is the most money? Cosmetic surgery, this is the one. That's what I want to be. No. As a Muslim student, that's not how you think. It isn't just about the dunya here. It's about utilizing your profession when you graduate in a way which is pleasing to Allah, so that your utilization of that profession becomes ibadah. It becomes worship. Furthermore, we have to keep in mind the last of the principles for planning, and that is the time frame in which we have to do all of this. The issue of time and time management. We have a period of time that's given to us. We don't know exactly how long it is, but we do know about the time that we are actually in. So we have to deal with that time as if that's all the time we actually have. Meaning, we have to maximize our benefit from every portion of time that we have. We cannot afford to go on holidays. Actually, this whole idea of holidays is not from the Islamic world. In Islam, for the last 1,400 years, Muslims did not have holidays. I know it might seem strange now because we've grown up with this idea of weekend, holiday, Friday or Saturday, Sunday, end of school, 2 months break, holiday. But no, in Islam, really, there is no holiday. There's no such thing. Because life is worship. From the Muslim perspective, Islamic perspective, life is worship. As Allah said, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Say, indeed, my prayers, my sacrifices, my living and my dying are for Allah, the Lord of all the worlds. So as a Muslim, everything I do becomes ibadah. If whatever I do is done with a consciousness of God and done in accordance with the teachings of the religion of God, as found in the Quran or from the Sunnah or the way of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him. So the whole life becomes ibadah. And that's why Allah said in the Quran, فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. If you finish worshiping, then you shift to another form of worshiping. You go from one form of worshiping to another form of worshiping. Your whole life is shifting in that way. There is no holiday from worship.